Now, if you're working towards the freestanding handstand push-up, so starting in the handstand position, shoulders come forwards, feet come back, head kisses the floor, and then we reverse it back up again, you're probably working some kind of pike push-up. Now, one of the major benefits from the pike push-up is that I can work the strength and conditioning needed for the handstand push-up, but I don't need to worry about the balance. Now, that can be a good thing, but also a really bad thing, and I'll discuss that later. Let's first delve into what the pike push-up is and all the different variations that we can use. So to set up for the standard pike push-up, we're going to externally rotate the hands. We're going to create a bit more space. So have the hands a little bit wider than your handstand position. Go into a down dog start position. Now this could be a little bit tight for some people in the hamstrings and calves. So you can bend the knees to make it a little bit easier. Now I'm going to open the shoulders in that position. And then I'm going to close the shoulder exactly the same as the handstand push-up. I'm going to slowly take the head down towards the floor, making sure the elbows are standing in line with the hands, kiss the forehead to the floor, creating a triangle, and then go back up again. Now that triangle is really important that we get into the right position that mimics the handstand push-up. So the bottom of the handstand push-up creates a triangle between the hands and the head. So I'm there, the bottom position is there. Notice the position is exactly the same in the pike push-up, then I push back to that position. So that's seen as the standard pike push-up. Try to mimic the line of the handstand push-up as much as possible. Now, common mistakes with this one is people tend to put their head in line with their hands and they don't make the triangle. So when I come down like this. Or when I come down like this and get the angle of the torso wrong. This is really common on the concentric, so the hard bit, they're going back up, where we'll come down nicely, but when we try and come back up, we tend to do this. Because we're much stronger in this plane of movement than we are in this plane of movement. But for the handstand push-up, we need this one. So once we've got this standard version down and we can do repetitions here, how can we make it harder and progress it? So number one, we could take one leg up in the air. So exactly the same start position, and then I'm going to come forwards, lift the leg up, come down to that same position, mimicking the handstand push-up, pushing back, opening the shoulders, coming back down. I could swap legs, or I could just do repetitions with one leg up in the air. Number two, I can increase the height of the feet. So exactly the same setup, but now my feet are elevated up in the air. Open the shoulders at the top, shoulders forward, elbows stand in line with the hands, make the triangle, push back up, open the shoulders. And you could just keep increasing the height until you get more and more weight into that hands, upper back, shoulders, when we come down and when we come back up again. Number three, I could increase the height of the hands and now work into a deficit. So instead of my head touching the floor level with the hands, I come down past the hands, all the way down to this position and push all the way back up again. So that's harder from a range of motion point of view, but because I'm raising the hands up, which is like decreasing the height of the legs, for some people that might actually feel easier. So number four takes care of that by raising the feet and the hands up. So now I can start in that open shoulder position, I can come down to the deficit position, and then I can push all the way back up again. So now that's back feeling harder again. Now version number 5 ramps the intensity up from a strength point of view, but also from a balance point of view. So at the bottom of the handstand push-up or the bottom of the pike push-up, I'm going to come forwards like this. I'm going to lift both legs up in the air, then I'm going to come back down, and then I'm going to push back out again. Now you could either bring the legs up in the air or you could just hold them in that position. Either way is way more challenging than the other variations we've played with so far and really demands on you having a good hip position relevant to the hands. So we need the hips up and over enough to make the feet light. If I'm back in this position, there's no way I can lift my feet up. I need to have my hip high, which makes my feet light. So there's a bit of a learning curve there to work out the position to not only get the feet to float, but also to have the control to balance the position and return back down again. Now the two major downsides of using the pike push-up to train the handstand push-up is number one, the pike position itself, so the closed hip position of the hip flexors. So this closed hip and these switched on hip flexors, as they become such a crucial part of the setup and the actual movement itself, getting rid of the hip flexors is actually really hard. You often see this happen with people that do lots and lots of yoga and they do lots and lots of forward folding positions, that when they do a handstand, their position looks a bit like this. and their hip flexors become very dominant in the handstand balance. So the risk of doing lots and lots of pike push-ups is the same thing's going to happen with our handstand push-up line, and our hip flexors are always going to try and contribute too much in the movement. And then problem number 2 is if we do only the pike push-up for our handstand push-up training, is that it's not teaching us much balance. So we really need to have a really good handstand balance, good control on opening and closing the shoulders, and also good control on the way down, balancing the position so you can hold here for time. So I'd recommend if you are training for the freestanding handstand push-up that you not only use the pike push-up, but you're also doing lots of work on your freestanding handstand balance and your handstand push-up eccentrics. So let me know down in the comments if you have any questions regarding the pike push-ups or handstand push-ups in general. Let me know which pike push-up variations that you're using, and if you know any others that I haven't covered today. On my app, I have follow along videos, tutorials and programs. If you'd like more information, the link is down in the description.